Hello everyone, I'm Jackie Leang. Welcome back to my kitchen for week 2 of the Real Women of Philadelphia cooking competition. The theme this week is side dishes. So today we are making a creamy leek and potato tart. This is an easy, elegant, versatile side that would be lovely with dinner, but I think it would be even better as part of a special lunch or brunch. I've got lots of ideas for what will go well with this tart, but we'll get to that later. For now, let's talk tart. Now, there are 3 main steps to this tart. First, we prepare the filling, then we prepare the crust, and finally, we assemble and bake the tart. So, for the filling, a creamy leek and potato tart is obviously going to include some potato. And here I have a new potato. I've got a pot full here. I've just scrubbed it. I don't need to peel it. New potatoes have thin skins, and what we're looking for with potatoes are waxy potatoes. They will hold their shape. I'm putting them whole into my pot, and I've covered them with cold salted water, and I'm going to bring these to a boil. And I'm going to cook them for about 15 minutes until they're just tender. So while my potatoes are cooking, I'm going to get going on the leek part of our filling. Now, a leek is part of the onion family. I love leeks. They are mild and sweet. Now, to prepare leeks, if you aren't familiar with them, it does look like a big green onion. I'm going to trim the root end off, trim the dark green leaves off. I'm also going to take off some of the outer layers that don't look so pretty, leaving us with the white and pale green part. This I'm going to slice in half lengthwise and lay flat and slice into, about 1/4 or 1/2 inch round half moons. Now I'm using 3 medium-sized leeks for this recipe. I've already prepared the other 2. Now, all these layers that make up the leek can hold a lot of grit, so it's really important to wash these well and get that grit rinsed out. So I do this by putting my sliced leeks in a big bowl, fill it with cool water, and swish it around to loosen that grit and let it sink to the bottom. I have washed and drained my leeks. I have them in the colander here. Don't they look beautiful? I've got a straight-sided skillet heating on the stove. I'm going to add a bit of olive oil to that, then I'll add the leeks and cook those off. I'm going to saute them till they're tender and wilted. I'm not looking for color, I'm not looking for caramelization, just looking to get them soft. While that's happening, I'm going to measure out the rest of our ingredients for the filling. Our potatoes are cooked. I've drained them in a colander and I've set them aside to let them cool a bit so they'll be easier to handle. Our leeks have also finished cooking. They're wilted, they're tender, still beautiful green. Now we need to add the creamy part of our creamy leek and potato tart. And we get that from a bit of cream and, of course, Philadelphia cream cheese. So while the pan is still hot, we're going to add about 1/4 cup of light cream, or half and half, and 125 grams or half a block of Philadelphia cream cheese. And I'm going to put this back over the heat and stir it up until it is smooth and creamy and melted. I'm just going to add a little squeeze of lemon. It'll be a nice bright note with this spring meal. Alright, so that's our filling prepared. We've got our creamy leeks and our cooked potatoes. I've got them set aside. They're just cooling a bit while we forge ahead with our crust. So for our crust, I'm using one of my favorite shortcuts, and that is store-bought puff pastry. You can find it in the freezer section of your grocery store. Make sure that you let it defrost in the fridge for a couple hours or overnight before using it. You want it to be cold though, so that it puffs up in those beautiful flaky layers. Don't leave it out on the counter. So here we go. I'm just going to unroll. This is how it comes to me from the grocery store. So I'm going to lightly flour my counter and use my trusty rolling pin to roll this out. Light dusting of flour on the top and bottom. I also rub flour on my rolling pin, learned that from my mom. Come from a family of pie makers, so I know a thing or two about crust. When rolling, always roll from the center out so you get nice and even thickness. Give it a turn, keep rolling. Okay, I've rolled out my crust to about 15 by 10 inches. I've got it on a piece of parchment paper. What I'm going to do is take a sharp knife and cut a 1/2 inch strip off of all 4 sides. This is going to be our border, and the focus on our tart is the filling, so we don't really need a big border. This is just to keep everything contained. Alright, here I have an egg wash. It is an egg beat together with a little bit of water. I'm just going to use my fingers and rub it all around the edge of our tart. This egg wash acts as a glue. It's going to attach the border that we just cut off onto the base of the tart. And then just give the border a flip and position it over top. Another dab of egg wash on the corners, and then flip, there goes our other end borders. They don't look very high now, but they will puff up and be lovely. Now I'm going to transfer this to a rimmed baking sheet here. Parchment paper is going to make it nice and easy to slide right on. And it's time for our filling. Our beautiful creamy leeks have cooled a bit, and I'm going to spread them evenly all over the base of our crust. Spread that around till it's nice and even. Alright, the leek and cream mixture is spread over the base of our tart. Next up, the potatoes. I have sliced those into medium thin slices, and now I'm just going to layer them over the creamy leeks, slightly overlapping rows, and nice little shingles. Alright, the potatoes are on. I'm going to brush all over the potatoes with some olive oil. This will help them stay moist but also get some nice crispy color in the oven. Back to the egg wash, I'm going to rub my border, just the border, with some more egg wash. In this case it's not acting as a glue but as a glaze, and it will help that puff pastry to turn a beautiful golden brown in the oven. And of course, fresh herbs. I'm going to put some more parsley on here, some more thyme, of course salt and freshly ground black pepper. Okay. I've got my oven preheated to 425. I'm going to bake this for about 20 to 25 minutes until the border of the pastry crust has puffed up and is nice and brown. I'm also going to stick a spatula under there and take a peek under the crust and make sure that is a golden brown as well, so that I know it's cooked underneath and not soggy. So here we go. Right, our tart is ready to come out of the oven. Oh, that smells good. I've transferred our tart to a cutting board and I've let it cool for a few minutes before slicing it into squares for serving. This would serve 6 to 8 depending on the meal and the appetites. Before I serve it though, the last little touch, I'm going to grate some fresh Parmesan over top. You could also do this for the last 5 to 10 minutes of cooking, and that'll help it brown right up. I'm also going to add a little bit of grated lemon zest. Now this is going to really bring out that hint of lemon that we added to the filling. Beautiful. Now this would be delicious served alongside a roasted or seared salmon fillet with a simple salad of baby greens in a bright lemony dressing. You might also try this at your next brunch. Use the tart as a base for poached eggs napped with a bit of hollandaise sauce and with some steamed asparagus on the side. That would be an amazing spring meal. So there we have our creamy leek and potato tart. I hope you enjoy it and I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for joining me today. Bye for now.